Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video. And as promised, continuing on with doing a few superstars figures, just kind of combining some of them in like just one video instead of doing like one figure per video. But as always, we end up usually talking about video games because I do post some video game content on my channel. But I just got done watching a video on how good SmackDown Shut Your Mouth was, and like Here Comes the Pain. And it's crazy because when I think about those old times and just being a gamer pretty much, my entire life, if you would have told me back then, right? Like as a kid, if you would have told me, dude, in the future, it won't get any better than this, I would have thought you were lying, because at that time it felt like every year the games got better. Now granted, I will say that they did eventually take some things away from wrestling games that were in it before, but they were still pretty much jam packed, and they were filled with a lot of things that we liked. You know what I mean? I mean, everything from the story creator, um the season modes, the road to WrestleManias, the special guest referee matches. It felt like the sky was the limit, every time they made some of these games. Sometimes the roster would hinder a lot of the games because there was a lot of things that would go on. Because I remember like the roster, I think in SmackDown versus Raw 2008 was not that good because of the time that it came out. Certain wrestlers were released, and there was all these different things that would kind of happen here and there with like the SmackDown series. But just thinking about games like WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy, I look at those videos, and even when I play the games myself, because I still own a lot of them, um, I never thought that I would be going back to play those games. And not that I would never do it. Like, say if the games that were coming out today were like really, 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 really good. Um, I don't know how often I would really go back to play the old ones, because there would almost be no need to, other than just kind of, hey, let me see what this game is like after so many years. Now, for a lot of us, I don't think I'm just speaking for myself, we're playing a lot of these old games because the stuff that's out now just it pales in comparison. It's just not as good. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I just wanted to get that out of the way, man. But anyways, we've got Mr. Perfect and the Undertaker. This Undertaker Superstars figure is amazing, man. I actually prefer it a little bit over my Mattel Elite. I mean, this is Mattel, but I prefer it a little bit over the Elite that I have because of the gloves. The one Undertaker that I have, that looks like this, the Elite version, he has the black gloves, which oddly enough, I don't remember him wearing this and wearing black gloves in real life. That must have been like a real quick thing. It must have been like one match, maybe. All Seriously, when I saw that, I was like, are they doing something new? I really don't remember the black glove thing. I really don't. Y'all in the comment section, if you guys remember that, just let me know. I mean, I've been watching wrestling forever, and like around this time, I always watched it. So I never remember Undertaker having black gloves, but they have that Elite where he's wearing the black gloves, and I just think it looks weird. Not my favorite. When he's wearing the black gloves with this outfit, mind you. The face sculpt is pretty good. A lot of these are pretty much with the face sculpts that you see on the Elites, but they're just, they're shaped differently so they can match the body type of the figure and all of that good stuff. As a matter of fact, Mr. Perfect, we'll have to watch him for a little bit. Ooh-wee. Hold up. You see, hold on. Much easier to take the head off first. All right. I am now removing the hands from the Undertaker. Okay. All right. If I can get this. Okay. Okay. I love these superstar figures, man. These are really fun. I will say I do think they need some more baby faces, man. Like when I look at now again, I mentioned in a previous video, there's certain ones that I have that you can use for a baby face and a heel because some of the characters did have like they went from heel to baby face and then back to being a heel and whatnot. But for the most part, man, I'm looking at my collection and it's like I have one, two, I got like two baby faces that have been baby faces pretty much at least the majority of their career. Um, Everybody else though has been a heel. Like even the Shawn Michaels, it's the heel version of Shawn Michaels. So, anyways, this is the Undertaker without his entrance gear on. I really, really appreciate the use of soft goods with these figures as well. Just about every single one of these figures has soft goods something, like whether it's the entire ring gear, whether it's just a shirt, everything is soft goods, and I think that is amazing. But I will say I'm happy that Mattel is actually starting to do that a lot with even the elites. They've been doing it now for a few years. The vast majority of elites that come out, you get soft goods. So that's actually a nice change. I know that a lot of us used to say back then that they should do that more often. Sometimes the hard rubber and all that stuff, it's tough to take off jackets that are like that. So yeah, when they use the soft goods, it is definitely what the doctor ordered, man. I wish the Harley race figure had a soft goods robe because yeah, that would be so much better. So much better. But I like this Undertaker. I dig it. This is my favorite version of the Undertaker too. Besides I did like the Attitude Era um Undertaker. I think the only Undertaker that I really didn't care too much for was the American Badass version of him. Coming out with the Kid Rock song. I did not like that version of the Undertaker at all. I didn't think it fit. It was weird because you go from the dead man to some badass that's just driving around in a motorcycle. It felt so weird and it felt so different. And I just personally did not like it. I just didn't like it. Wasn't my cup of tea. But let's get Undertaker out of the ring real quick so we can focus on Mr. Perfect. All right. So he does come with the Intercontinental title. He also comes with his towel. Um, Dope figure. So I got two good Mr. Perfect figures. I got the new Elite one, and then I got this one. So this is actually really cool. He does have a different ring attire choice if you take this off. He comes with his trunks that he wore. Listen, this is going back before my time, but when he was with another wrestling organization before WWE, that's what I'll say. And yeah, man, just again, it does look a little weird. This it does look a little weird, right? I much prefer the way the Elite one looks, but I still appreciate what the attempt was here. I still appreciate the attempt. I think it's awesome. Um, I'd rather have this in soft goods than not. I think it's cool. It does look a little weird though, but I think it's cool. He does. They all come with an extra set of hands. I want to say all of these superstar figures come with at least 3 sets of hands. They have their 2 fists. They got like gripping hands, and then they have like thumbs up hands. But yeah, I like this. I like that he comes with the soft good towel. I think that's perfect, just like the Elite one does. Um, that face scan is like that is so Kurt Hennig, you know. But yeah, it's great. This was one that was like really on my list to get. This and the Hogan Superstars figures were on my list, like big time on my list. I had to get these. They were must-haves. That's the word I'm trying to think of. That whole time I was trying to think, what am I looking for? Must-haves. So this and the Hogan figure, which I did a video on, these were my must-haves, man. I like it. And I think that they're perfect for this ring. I think that they are perfect for this. Let's see. Undertaker. And look at what we got here, folks. I like it, man. I dig it. These figures are dope. They're fun. Um, I know they're supposed to be coming out with an Andre the Giant and a Doink the Clown. I do want both of those. Especially the Andre the Giant. I've got to get that. That's another must-have because I definitely want to do some like photos with him and Hogan in the ring. I think that'd be dope. Um, yeah. Now it's funny, even though this little ring does fit these guys better than of course, the bigger ring. It still is too small, even for these guys. I wish that Mattel made their basic rings as big as the what was it? The AEW basic ring. The AEW basic ring is actually really good. You actually you don't need the Wicked Cool Toys AEW ring if you have their basic one, in my opinion. Um, I do wish that Mattel went that size. It's just, it's just a little bit bigger, but that those extra couple of inches are great. That's what she said. So 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 yeah. And I'm right now I am putting Undertaker's entrance gear back on. I don't mess with these guys too much because I don't want the soft goods to kind of have some wear and tear or get some. Undertaker's coat though is actually different. I think that is actually extremely durable. But the $1 Million Man, whoo! Tell you what, man. I tell you what, the $1 Million Man, mm, his entrance gear. I think I already have a slight rip in the wrist part of his suit. That I was not too happy about. So that's what just kind of made it where, you know what, I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna take it a little easy in terms of doing that. So yeah. All right, let me see. Let's put the hat back on. Well, first, let's put this hand back in. Come on, man. All right. Okay. All right, now Undertaker is ready to make his appearance again. Oh, wow. And his leg was all cocked to the side. All right. Here we go. There we have it, man. We've got these superstar figures, which, again, I absolutely love. I don't really have any complaints with these guys, man. It's hard to have any complaints when they're kind of just little basic, like more so for kids. But I mean, really, let's be honest. This is for people who grew up with figures that were like this, and it's made of it's all old school wrestlers for the most part. They do have like a Bray Wyatt, but for the most part, the superstar line kind of covers like the 90s and 80s wrestlers. Again, right up my alley. Right up my alley. I was thinking about getting The Rock, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna leave this line to just having the 80s wrestlers and just leave it at that. That's the wheelhouse that I want to stick in right now. So yeah. And I think that's about it, man. I mean, I mentioned what I wanted to mention about video games. By the way, speaking of video games, I am gonna be buying Here Comes the Pain and Shut Your Mouth soon, real soon, actually. At my record exchange, they actually have them. Prices are still, I mean, because those games are still popular, the prices are still pretty, it's not nothing too crazy, but for how old those games are, I think they both go for like $35, I want to say. SmackDown versus Raw 2006 and 7, my favorite of the SmackDown versus Raw series. Um, but yeah, I gotta get those too, by the way. I have to get those, man. Season mode was just really fun to do in those games. I wish that 2K had superstar mode work as well as season mode did. And I know season mode wasn't great all the time, but in those first years, like I thought, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain, SmackDown versus Raw 2006, SmackDown versus Raw 2007. All four of those games had a great season mode because it spanned multiple years for most of them. and you got new cutscenes the vast majority of the time, like when you're going through, and there were branching storylines. So it was perfect. But it's like if you play superstar mode in 2K, it doesn't really give you that. It doesn't give you that feeling. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like playing a bunch of exhibition matches, and here and there's a cutscene, but there's never any, they don't have any promos. They don't have anybody coming out after a match with the microphone to issue a challenge or a rematch. And they have those in those old games. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, not to get into it off on a tangent about 2K, but the developers of 2K, they really don't care about wrestling. They don't watch wrestling from a fan's perspective. While back in the THQ and Ukes days, they did. It felt like It felt like wrestling fans making a wrestling game for wrestling fans. The things that were in them, they shouldn't be out of 2K for as long as they've been out of 2K. That should not be the case. There's no excuse for that. You know, it's just, I don't know. Eh, it's just disappointing to say the least. But there's a reason why we still have our old stuff and we can still play the old stuff. So yeah, man, I really do want to get a game capture so I would really have some fun putting up gameplay of the old wrestling games. I think that I would have a tremendous amount of fun, to the point where I wouldn't stop. That would be something that I do all the time. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyways, man, that's all. Now I'm just, rambling like I always do. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning into this video. This is your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.